poor little guy. He got in a fight with somebody, but it wasn't Max. I don't know who he beat up, but he was gone for a few days. But you know how I fix his ear? With a natural antibiotic. I use, yes, he's going to turn blue, colloidal silver. I get the good stuff, and it works like magic. And what I do is I just put some in a syringe. Drop it right on his ear. He thinks it's raindrops or something. So that will help heal it. Kitty, 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 kitty. Ooh, I hear a helicopter. We have helicopters that gather our trees. I would like today, I want to go check out them harvest the Christmas tree using the helicopters. It was snowing this morning. The last couple of weeks have been really hard for me. I've been a crybaby, and a lot of my content has been negative, like cutting my hair. I cut 9 inches off my hair. And my sister says, well, it'll curl better. Nope, it made it worse. Anyway. You know, she kept telling me to cut my hair, that older women shouldn't have their hair long. My hair used to be beautiful, thick, beautiful, waist length. And my husband loves my hair long. But as a youngster, I always cut my hair because my dad used to grab my hair and pull me down and beat me. I know it doesn't sound possible, but that's the honest to God's truth. So I kept my hair short so he couldn't grab the long hair and pull me down. And the last time I had long hair, I was 15 and a half, and he grabbed my hair and he pulled me all the way to the floor, and he took off his belt and he began beating me. He held the loop in as he beat me with the buckle. So I ended up in juvenile detention, and nobody talked to me it was Saturday afternoon when that happened, and I hobbled to work. And the nursing supervisor took a look at my injuries, and she had me sit and wait. Next thing I knew, the cops were picking me up. I had no idea they were taking me into protective custody. I thought I was in trouble, as always. And they kept me in a room, isolated. So I didn't really I don't remember talking to anybody. I'm sure they did. And Tuesday morning, my mom showed up, and she told me if I didn't change my story and quit telling them that Bob had beat me, because he beat me so hard, he hit me, I don't know, 10 times. I don't know how many times. But I had a hematoma on my leg, the back of my leg, the size of a goose egg. Now, why did he do this? Because he said I had a disrespectful look on my face. Ooh, life flight. But I was trying to get shoe polish out of the cabinet that was next to their bedroom, and they were taking a nap, and I had to hurry up and get to work. but I had to wear white shoe polish because I worked in the nursing home, and I couldn't find the shoe polish, and it was just, the cabinet was just full of junk, and stuff fell out onto the floor, and it woke them up, and so I was in trouble for waking them up. And he came out and he says, "What the hell is going on?" I says, "I'm just looking for shoe polish." He says, "Don't talk to me in that manner, blankety blankety blank." I says, "I'm not." Anyway, so I got beaten, and I hobbled the 2 miles to my work at Loma Linda Convalescent Hospital next to Humphreys Mortuary. And so my mom came to me Tuesday morning and said if I didn't change my story and tell them I did it myself. Yeah, how could I have hit myself like that on the back of my leg? There's impossible. And that I had deserved it, that I was yelling. I was not. My mom forced me to lie. She says if I didn't tell them, if I told them the truth, that Bob would be in trouble and my sisters would go to foster care where they would be molested and beaten, and it would be all my fault. Well, see, this was how my mom always dealt with things. She always said that. Like when I told her I was being molested at 5, she told me, 4 and 5, my uncle, she said that I acted too sexy and I deserved it. So that's the way she always operated. It was always my fault. And I'm 7 and 9 years older than my siblings. And 21 years older, too. My brother's 21. So, and I get weepy around the holidays because this is when it happened. And my mom told me I had to tell them a lie, or else Bob would go to jail and my sisters would go to prison or to foster care. And I love my sisters more than anything because I was their mom. And I couldn't handle them going to foster care, so I told them I told them a lie, but I think they knew. And my mom took me home that day. Bob never said he was sorry. He never talked about it. It was never discussed. Nothing. But my leg was very injured, and I think still to this day has caused me problems. That hematoma was the size of an egg, and where he had hit me with the belt buckle. And how could anyone hit themselves on their back with a belt buckle like that? It was impossible, but I guess they believed it, or believed that, or they let my mom take me. And this was after the flood. My parents rented a 2-bedroom apartment, and they had a bedroom for my sisters and a bedroom for themselves, and they had a cot, just one of those foldable junky cots for me to sleep out in the living room. I was 17, and they told me they didn't have room for me to find a place to live. But anyway, that was when I was 17, so you can see how they treated me. And I love my sisters so much. And I took care of my brother because my parents, they were too old to take care of my brother. So all his care fell onto me. So he blamed me for breaking up his family by by allowing him to live with us. But my mom had a boyfriend and she took off, and Christian hospital, such good Christians. But anyway, then my brother has always hated me. even though I treated him so well. He lived with us. I paid for his Christian education. We didn't have the money. I paid several $100s a month for him to go to Christian school for years because we felt that was best for him. I bought his clothes. I did stuff for him. When my son got a jacket, he got a jacket. We took him in just like my own son. But he hated me. But he claimed he found the Lord and he's a Christian. I wonder why the horses are running. Look at the horses, are all going crazy. And the goats. Anyway, he just hasn't had anything to do with me since he got married. When he got married, I made his wedding cake and all the flower girl dresses and the decorations that they asked me to do it. I did a 4-tier wedding cake. It was beautiful. And we gave them everything. And I made their daughter a dress for it, the cutest dress out of Daisy Kingdom fabric. It was Daisy Kingdom chalkboard and little school thing with buses, and for her first day of kindergarten, and they made fun of it. They said it was stupid. I'm an excellent seamstress. I'll show you a picture of it. It is really cute. But they just thought I was just a stupid old lady. And he kept telling people at church, God forgives him for the way he feels towards me. But he can't stand me. He doesn't know why, but he just hates me. So we went to counseling, and the counselor asked him, what has Cheryl done to make you feel this way? He says, I don't know. I just hate her. I can't stand her, but God has forgiven me. And I tried to let that go. And then I called him. And I told him I was really sad because I was struggling and I'd had numerous surgeries for Crohn's disease. And I had had over 50, 60 units of blood transfusions. And that means I was in the hospital 48 hours each time, but they didn't believe that. They said I was lying. But I had an aneurysm. I had an artervenous malformation. I'm in the AVM society. I'm a survivor, AVM survivor. So anyway, he claimed that he doesn't know why, but God has forgiven him because he's asked God to forgive him, but he just can't stand me. He doesn't know why. And he's told people in our church that he can't stand me. And a lot of our people in our church started wondering, what have I done to, and it was a large church, and I hadn't done anything wrong. So all these young kids started hating me. And then I found out that the whole family was getting together for Thanksgiving at his place. And I asked him, I said, Larry and I don't have any place to go. We'd like to go. Can we? I invited myself. I'll bring the turkey. I'll bring everything. I'll pay you $1,000. I'll do anything. He says, why don't you go to the homeless shelter? They'll feed you. That was like a stab in the heart. Why don't I go to the homeless shelter? They'll feed me. And he doesn't see anything wrong with what he said. He said, well, I didn't really mean it that way. I said, well, how did you mean it, Tom? His name is Tom Williams. He lives in Texas. He goes to some Calgary church. And he didn't, last time I talked to him before he moved, I didn't even know he was moving. I had another bowel obstruction, and I was going in the hospital for more surgery. This was 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I said, Tom, I really miss having my family. I'd like to see your children, your family. I don't have anybody. I says, can you come to my home and pray with me? Because he says he anoints people, and, you know, because he's a godly man and he's headed all this prayer group. But he knows that, yeah, I think he worries that I'm going to confront him about what he said and stating that he hates me, but he's forgiven. And our Christian counselor couldn't believe the way he behaves and he thinks. And he asked Tom, what has Cheryl done to you? He says, I don't know. I just can't stand her. And neither can anybody else in the family. My father hated me. My mother abused me. So I don't know, what is it? I think there's some kind of demon that harasses me and people hate me. But anyway, I told him that I was feeling lonely and scared and going into the hospital and facing more surgery. He says, well, I have 80 strong Christian men who will pray for you. And I'll put you over to the prayer chain. He never came to visit me. So every Thanksgiving, I can't help but remember those words. Why don't you go to the homeless shelter? They'll feed you. Yeah. I'm not homeless. And I have enough money to buy enough food for everybody to have a Thanksgiving dinner. And that's been our mission, is to help others. And we've given to Tom and his family. We've given to everybody in our family. We've never been prideful or boastful. But we have an attorney that has all our finances in a trust. And I feel like giving him, you know, after we die, or have our attorney hand him an envelope with $20. Here's some gas to get you to the homeless shelter for dinner, because things are going to get bad. And people are going to be looking to, our family's going to be looking to, and they already are looking to us for help. I love my granddaughter. I have one. We adopted 2 girls, but that turned out really bad. They were very, very damaged girls, and they hate us. And my son turned against me because of the family dynamics of everybody hating me. Anyway, I'm just to the point. I'm praying, Lord, take me home. Let me die. My husband's long haul COVID. I'm not suicidal. I wouldn't do that to my husband. But he's so tired. He's so ill. And none of those kids care about him. None of them.
They know he's sick, and they pretend to be Christians, but they don't act like it. So, I'm sorry, I've just been weepy. And my sister kept telling me to cut my hair 5 or 6 times, telling me I need to cut my hair because it looks bad. And I cut 9 inches off, and it looks worse because I curled it. It won't hold the curl. I really did. I cut 9 inches off. I have. And now I look like crap. But you know, Jules made that video about her talking too much and the negative comments that she's gotten. She is a beautiful woman. And why is she doubting herself? She's a psychologist. She's got more degrees than all of us put together. She's got PhDs. She's a smart woman. She's beautiful. She's witty. I love to hear her talk. And I love to hear her birds chatter. Those birds are her security watermark. So when other demonic creators try to use her content, we know the birds will prevent her from creating her videos to make things seem like what she said. I don't know why all these stuff is happening, but people are just, hi, Lisa, we're so sad that you can't come. I wish there was an appeal. And we were looking forward to having Lisa, our exchange student from Brazil, come back and visit. And they won't let her travel into the U.S. I think they're afraid that she's gonna stay. I told her, well, go to Mexico and come in illegally, like millions of others are doing each week. But anyway, we're sad about that. Liza, we want you to get the very best computer laptop that you need for your school. Don't look at the prices, okay? No discounts. We want you to get what you want. I think maybe get an Apple Mac. I got an Apple Mac phone. And maybe for your birthday, you get you an Apple Mac phone and then a watch and stuff like that. You know, it's okay. We can do that. Especially now that we're not going to be paying for your airfare and your flight here. And we know you'll need that for your school or whatever. Even if you don't go to school, you need your laptop. And then maybe give you the laptop that's broken, maybe donate it to somebody that can fix it or something. I don't know. Make a blessing out of it. So anyway, when my brother told me to go to a homeless shelter, they can feed me, that was a stab in the heart. I have to forgive him because God won't forgive me for my sins if I don't forgive him. But he's going to have to answer to God. And he believes that everything's okay because he's a Christian and he's forgiven. And he was saved a long time ago. And once saved, always saved. But that's not what the Bible teaches. That means if once saved, always saved is true, then that means you cannot leave God. That if you were saved when you were a little child and you decided you didn't want to be a Christian, you wanted to be an atheist, and you wanted to follow Satan, then that would force God into taking you to heaven. So that's what that once saved, always saved means. Anyway, pray for me, pray for my husband. He's really tired. He's very sick. And I don't know what's going to happen. He's down to 135 pounds, and they don't know why he's losing so much weight. I've had to get him a whole new wardrobe. He wears a size 32, 31 jeans. He wore 36, 38 years ago when he weighed 185 pounds. And for him to be down to 135 is just horrible. Just awful. And he's tired. He does a little bit of work. He pushes himself. And then he comes and takes a 3-hour nap. Then he gets up. And he gets mad at himself for being lazy. But we're not going to sell. I don't know. We need to sell the crazy bus. He can't drive it. He's too tired to drive it. It takes a lot of energy. And if he doesn't want me to drive it, but I can drive it. I drive the truck with a 30-foot trailer. That makes it 55 feet. Why can't I drive a 44-foot motorhome or 42? I don't know. But anyway, it's just sitting there wasting away, leaking, getting wet, because it needs some seals. What a crazy ordeal that was. But we'd take 100,000 if somebody wants to buy it, or less. I don't know. Make us an offer, any offer. But he doesn't want to sell it. I don't know why. Anyway, I found more of these. They were out of these long icicles at Costco. And I was foolish. I only bought 3 boxes. I thought, they were too expensive. And then, now I'm having to pay extra because I found 2 more boxes in Hillsboro. So I need 2 more. Anyway, now on Amazon, they're $95 a box. That's crazy. I won't pay that much. Anyway, pray for Larry and I. We're having a really hard time. And there's just so much going on. There's so much evil taking place in the world. I mean, look what's going on. This S&M bondage stuff for little children. Human trafficking. Even our own case here in Portland. Little missing Kyron Horman. You know his stepmother murdered him. But she got away with it. She's thumbing her nose at the police. There's no doubt that she killed him. But she got away with it. 10 years now. We don't know what happened. I can't imagine being his mom. Desiree Young. She had severe kidney disease, and she was in and out of the hospital, and she was forced to give Kyron, her little boy, over to her husband because she was getting treatment up in Canada. It wasn't like she went up there to get a weight loss reduction. She had severe kidney illness. And she was so sick she couldn't even get out of bed. So she had Desiree was forced to give her son over to her husband, Kate. And the woman that helped take care of her, yep, was his girlfriend. Yep. The witch herself was having an affair with her husband while she was taking care of her. Terry Horman is a monster. She pretended to be nice to Desiree while having a sexual affair with her husband behind her back while she was sick. And her husband, Kane, married Terry, and her 16-year-old son came to live with them. But they had had an argument that night, the night before, well, a few days before Kyron went missing. And Kane said her son, her 16-year-old son, had to go back to live with his dad or her parents down in Roseburg. So for retaliation for that, she murdered little Kyron, or human trafficked him, or whatever. I have a tip that I found out, and I gave it to the detectives, a lead. It's connected to Savi Island. Anyway, like I said, there's so much evil and so much sadness taking place. It's just getting worse. And this war in Ukraine is about to explode. And the things that are taking place. Anyway, we could have nuclear war any minute. And it'll be all over in seconds. Because Russia has submarines parked just right off the Oregon coast, Pacific Northwest coast. And they could drop a bomb, nuclear bomb. There's no way to stop it. Even if they're 500 miles offshore Oregon coast, they can, Larry said 10 years ago, or 20, 30 years ago when he was in the Navy, he was on a submarine, nuclear sub, and those nuclear warheads could go right on target 1,200 miles away. So we're foolish thinking that we have ways to stop it, because we don't. Anyway, thank you for listening to my whine. I've just been a weepy, weepy little old lady. I'm feeling old. I have a sore throat. No, it's not COVID. And I'm just feeling really vulnerable. And I cut my hair because I listen to others. And my advice to Jules, if you talk too much, that's okay. Some people might think you talk too much. Some people think I write too much. Some people think I'm too negative. That may be true. But you're not forcing them to listen to your channel. And there's a lot of people that enjoy every word that you say because you're very smart, you're brilliant, you're witty, you're awesome. And I wished you were my sister. I wished you were my best friend. I wished I had somebody like you in my life. You are a very valued person. Don't forget that. Don't listen to them. I didn't listen to them. I listened to them and I cut my hair. and now I look like crap. Don't listen to them. Do your own thing. You are beautiful. Know that you are beautiful. Know that you sing well. Know that you know what you're doing. You're smart. You bless a lot of people. Both you and Bill are awesome. I wished I was healthy enough to invite you and Bill over to fly to Portland, and we'll go up to Leavenworth in the crazy bus. We could laugh all the way. Anyway, that would be fun, but I'm not healthy enough. Anyway, God bless you. And don't listen to anybody talking bad about you. And don't cut your hair. God bless you.